I'm Elaine, standing in the old, dusty house where it all started. The smell of aged wood and faded memories fills the air. The porch light flickers weakly, casting airy shadows on the peeling wallpaper. In front of me stands my stepsister, Ava, her eyes swollen and hood pulled up. She looks at me and says, "You came." I nod, my voice steady, but my heart pounding. "You didn't leave me much choice." For a moment, we're both silent. Then, Ava's voice breaks, filled with pain and resentment. "You think I wanted to be like this? Always the outsider? When Mom looked at you, it was pride. When she looked at me, it was pity." I take a deep breath, my eyes stinging with unshed tears. "Ava, I never wanted competition. You were my sister." Her jaw trembles. "You don't get it. I was drowning. Debts, rent, loan sharks. I thought if I could get you to send money, I'd fix everything before anyone knew." I close my eyes, trying to process the weight of her words. "And Noah? What about him?" She looks away. "He saw me near the hospital. Tried to stop me." I panicked. Just then, blue and red lights flash outside. The officers had followed me. Ava doesn't resist as they lead her out. She just whispers, "Tell Mom I'm sorry." As I watch her being taken away, I'm flooded with memories that lead me back to that fateful night. It was the middle of the night, around 3:02 a.m. When my phone on the nightstand buzzed violently, jolting me out of a deep sleep. For a second, I thought it was a dream, but then I saw the caller ID. "Mom," I croaked, still half asleep. Her voice came through in a panicked rush. "Elaine, your brother Ethan is in the hospital. They said he'll suffer through the night unless we pay immediately. The bill is $12,600. Send it right now, or they'll refuse treatment." My heart skipped a beat. This wasn't the first time Mom had pulled this kind of emotional emergency. She was always asking for money, usually late at night when I was too tired to argue. But this time, something felt off. "Mom," I said flatly, "where's Ethan?" "They're working on him."
"He needs the money now," she replied.
I sat up, rubbing my face. Anger welled up inside me. "Call your precious daughter," I snapped, "the one you always believed in, the one who never contributed but took all the credit." There was a pause on the other end. "Elaine, please." And then the line went dead. I hung up and dropped the phone beside me. My hands were shaking, but I told myself it was just anger. However, the silence after I hung up was heavy, like something was terribly wrong. I rolled over, trying to go back to sleep, but a nagging feeling in my gut wouldn't let me rest. What if this time it wasn't another lie? The sunlight sliced through my blinds far too soon. My phone, face down on the nightstand, vibrated again. This time it was an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me pick up. "Hello," I muttered, my voice rough from lack of sleep. "Is this Elaine Thompson?"
A deep voice asked.
"This is Officer Johnson with the Portland Police Department." All traces of drowsiness vanished. "Yes, this is Elaine." What's happened?" "There's been an incident," he said carefully. "Your brother Ethan Thompson was admitted to St. Luke's Hospital last night after a roadside altercation. He's stable now, but we need you to come in for a statement." My stomach dropped. I sat up so fast that the blanket tangled around me. "Wait, he's alive?" "My mom called me last night and said he needed money or—" "Ma'am," the officer interrupted gently, "your mother's been here since 2:30 a.m. She's the one who called the ambulance." The phone felt slippery in my hand. Then why? Why would she tell me he needed money?
He sighed.
"Maybe you should come down here and ask her yourself." And then the line went dead. I sat there, stunned. The same mother who had screamed for money at 3 a.m. was sitting safely in a hospital waiting room right now. But that $12,600? It was my exact savings balance. My heart raced as I realized that someone had planned this call, and it wasn't just about Ethan. The drive to St. Luke's felt like an eternity. My coffee sat untouched in the cup holder. The highway seemed too bright for how sick my stomach felt. I kept replaying the 3 a.m.
M.
call in my head, hearing every fake tremor in Mom's voice. When I reached the hospital, the fluorescent light washed over the row of plastic chairs and vending machines. Mom was sitting in the corner, a designer handbag by her side, scrolling through her phone as if nothing had happened. She looked up, startled. "Elaine, you came?" "Of course I did," I said, keeping my voice level. "Where's Ethan?" "He was in surgery earlier, but he's awake now," she said quickly. "They said he'll be fine." Thank God. I should have felt relieved, but all I felt was anger. "Why did you ask for $12,600 last night?" Her face went blank. "What are you talking about?" "The call. You said he wouldn't get treated unless I sent the money. You screamed at me for not helping." For a second, something flickered in her eyes, confusion, maybe fear. But then she shook her head. "Elaine, I never called you." A chill ran through me. "Mom, it was your voice. You said." "I was here with Ethan all night."
"You can ask the nurses," she insisted.
My knees weakened. If Mom hadn't called, who had known the exact balance in my savings account? Mom frowned. "Honey, what's wrong?" I swallowed hard. "Someone pretended to be you, and whoever it was, they knew everything about me." Mom's brow furrowed. "Pretended to be me? Elaine, that's ridiculous. Who would?" "I don't know," I said, looking around the quiet hallway. "But they knew my savings amount down to the last cent. That's not random." Mom looked genuinely shaken. "You think someone hacked you?" "Maybe," I muttered. "But how would they even know Ethan was here before the police did?" She didn't answer. Her eyes flicked towards Ethan's room, where the faint sound of a monitor beeped. Just then, the door opened, and Ethan's girlfriend, Lily, stepped out. She looked surprised to see me. "Elaine, you're here?" "Obviously." I forced a smile. "I heard about Ethan." She nodded slowly, brushing her long, blonde hair behind her ear. "He's sleeping now. It was just a concussion. Thank God." Mom stood up. "I'm going to get coffee." She left in a hurry. I turned back to Lily. "Hey, can I ask you something? Did you hear anything weird last night? Calls, texts, anything?" Lily hesitated, biting her lip. "Actually, yeah. Someone called Ethan around 10. He looked confused. Said it was about a payment, but then he laughed it off." I froze. "What kind of payment?" She shrugged. "He didn't say. But whoever it was, he called them sis." My throat tightened. "He called them what?" She looked at me blankly. "Sis, like you? But I know you didn't call him." Suddenly, my skin went cold. Someone wasn't just pretending to be Mom. They were pretending to be me. I could barely breathe. I whispered. "Then who did?" Lily's brow furrowed. "I don't know." My fingers shook as I pulled out my phone and opened my recent calls. There it was, the 3 a.m. call from Mom. But beneath it, 2 more outgoing calls I didn't remember making. One to Ethan. One to an unknown number. I asked Lily, when Ethan got that call, did he say anything else? She thought for a moment. Just that he'd take care of it. Then he left the apartment, and an hour later, he got jumped near a parking lot. The police think it was a mugging. A mugging? It sounded more like a setup. My heart was pounding in my ears. "Lily, can you text me the number that called him last night?" She nodded and quickly typed. My phone buzzed with her message, a long number with an Oregon area code. When I dialed it, a metallic voice answered immediately. "This number is no longer in service." But that voice wasn't robotic. It was pre-recorded, almost familiar. I ended the call and opened my banking app. The balance was untouched for now. I sat in the hospital cafeteria, my untouched coffee cooling beside me. I scrolled through my phone, opening old messages. And then it hit me. The area code of the number Lily sent matched an old text chain from Ava. My stepsister, Mom's favorite, the one who always had access to everything, passwords, accounts, even Dad's old insurance files. I remembered my bitter words from last night. "Call your precious daughter." Had Mom told Ava about my savings? Or had Ava found out herself? I called her immediately. It went straight to voicemail. I tried again, but still nothing. When I finally looked up, Officer Johnson was walking towards me, notepad in hand. "Miss Thompson," he said, We pulled some records from the number that called your brother. Guess what? The SIM card was registered to someone named A. Harper. I stared at him, numb. Ava Harper. He nodded. You know her? She's my stepsister, I replied. He frowned. Then we've got a bigger problem, ma'am, because your stepsister didn't just fake your mom's voice. She accessed both of your banking profiles. We think she's done this before. Just then, my phone lit up with a new message from Ava. Don't call the cops, Elaine. You owe me this. My fingers trembled as I opened the message thread. More texts appeared one after another. You always had everything. Mom's attention, Dad's patience, Ethan's love. I was the extra, the mistake. You just didn't see it. I could barely breathe. Officer, she's texting me right now. He signaled another officer to start tracing the number. The messages kept coming. I didn't mean to hurt Ethan. He was just supposed to scare you, make you send the money. Then he showed up at the parking lot yelling my name. I stared at the screen, nausea rising. Ethan had recognized her. That's why he'd gone out that night. That's why he'd been attacked. Another text arrived, slower this time, almost desperate. He wasn't supposed to get hurt, Elaine. I swear. I typed back, my hand shaking. Where are you, Ava? Please, just stop this before it gets worse. For a full minute, there was nothing. Then a final message. You'll find me where it started. The house Dad left us. Midnight. The officer leaned over my shoulder. We'll send a unit. But I shook my head.
No.
She won't talk to anyone else. He hesitated. You sure about that? I looked at the last text, thinking about the place where all our jealousy and rivalry had begun. I'm sure. If I don't go, she'll disappear. Outside, the sky was already turning dark again. Midnight wasn't far away. Weeks later, as Ethan healed, I realized the truth. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's closure. Some lessons come at midnight when old ghosts demand attention. And if you're hearing this, check the voices that ask for your help, because sometimes family isn't the one saving you. It's the one you have to save from themselves.